Ever since the scandal that ruined her career.
Are you kidding? That's the perfect marriage.
Well, I'm sorry to burst your bubble of finely aged cynicism, but the Yates are genuinely crazy about each other. They're the proverbial power couple. Valentina was always Don's most trusted advisor and vice versa. Some say she's the brains behind some of his most famous court strategies.
Huh. Talk about insult to injury.
What do you mean?
Oh, it's just that one of Yates's clients is the rival to the Semaphore phone company, which got exposed in the data leak that ruined Valentina's career. In fact, Yates would have lost his first high-profile case had it not happened. I guess her loss was his gain.
Huh. Didn't know about that. Well, I guess if they can survive that, they can survive anything.
Except retirement.
Bienvenidos to Viñeda Yates. May I see your invitation, please? Gracias, señor. Enjoy the party.
Evening, senor. Would you care for an aperitif?
Thank you. So, you must know everything that goes on at the event. Care to give me the lowdown?
Let's see. Most of the guests have already arrived. And let me tell you, it's like a Forbes 500 convention in there. Most are high-profile clients of Morgan, Yates, and Horn. But the Yates are still no shows. Word is, they're still up at the house.
They haven't made an entrance yet. Curious. Any idea why?
Well, I probably shouldn't be saying this, but word is that Yates was in a great mood this morning, but that all changed when the letter arrived.
The letter?
Yeah, an honest-to-God letter delivered by courier. I mean, who writes letters anymore? Anyway, it must have been bad news, because Senor Yates heard the plant off the balcony. Big heavy one, too. It almost hit Isabel, one of the maids who had to go lie down.
Oh. Anything else?
The party is not the only thing happening at the estate. The winery is open for guests, too. You should check it out if you're interested in winemaking. It's harvest season, after all.
I might just do that. Thank you for your time, miss.
Right. Pleasant evening, senor.
They don't call him cojones
Thank
for
God
nothing.
finally over.
I need
That
to
extra
inform
security
everyone.
detail was driving my
Let me know
wife and
something
kids
good
crazy.
going on.
We lucked out. Heralds say a handful of operatives were lost, but I figure they're down with it. We've all seen the news. Some power players dropping like flies. But as long as we don't know who everybody else is, it's hard to call their bullshit. How did they recruit you?
I was approached by the old constant during my senior year, like my thesis on plutocracy. Got me a position with Chef Moore, then Morgan, Yates and Cohn, then Hampson Oil. I must have skipped 20 years of corporate climbing. Before I knew it, I was Secretary of State. And all I had to do was answer the occasional call, do the occasional favor. Seemed a sweet deal at the time.
My tech startup was caught up in a losing fight with one of the big five. I won't mention any names. Then a herald shows up. Says he represents a kind of corporate superstructure that is willing to acquire my startup and cover the cost of the lawsuit without asking a single share in return. All I would have to do... well, you know the rest.
I'm reasonably sure I helped get Brigida Quincy elected, securing Providence access to the country's rhodium mines. But the journalists never reveal their grand scheme, do they? So there's no way to say for sure. Sometimes I find myself wanting to know what I've been accessory to. Other times...
I hear you. Ignorance is bliss.
Mr. Yates said you'd be dropping by. Are you ready for the grand tour?
Who else will be attending?
Let me check. Just yourself, Miss Vidal, and Mr. Corvo Black, an employee of Mr. Yates from the New York office. He hasn't checked in with us yet. Would you like us to call him for you?
That won't be necessary. We'll go at our own pace.
No problem. I will tell Mr. Vargas, the chief winemaker, to expect your arrival. You are in for a treat.
What do you make of this?
Well, Yates wants us out of the way. There's a reason we're the only heralds going on this tour of his. He's buying time. Question is, for what? I wouldn't be surprised if he considers me a threat. But is he bold enough to defy Edwards?
He'd be a damn fool. But they don't call him cojones for nothing. I need to inform Edwards.
Hello, sir.
Let him know something screwy is going on.
Don't. I know how to deal with the likes of Don Yates. The one we need to worry about is Corvo Black.
Yates Fixer. You know him?
I see a regular. I always suspected he was a middleman for Morgan, Yates and Cole. I never took his contracts. Nasty piece of work. Below my standards. But plenty of my colleagues were less picky.
Well, they certainly got theirs. I wonder how your agent will feel if he saw you now.
He wouldn't. 47 is a weapon, and weapons don't judge. They go where they're pointed.
Oh, that's cold. I like you more already.
I dare say congratulations are in order.
Close call, though. Hello, sir. I was third in the line of succession, after Robert and Sierra Knox. Then the pesky Kronstadt Board of Directors decided to hire an outsider. Former chair of the Applied Science Division at Caltech with a rep for being uncorruptible. With her at the helm, our friends would have lost control of Kronstadt altogether. Luckily for us, she went and wrapped her car around a tree. Brakes, apparently.
That is fortuitous.
Anyway, Kronstadt stays in the family, same as the other assets.
So the heralds keep telling us. By their account, those terrorists barely made a scratch.
You don't sound convinced.
How are we to tell when we don't know who's who? No, I don't believe the Constant had this situation under control. I even hear he was kidnapped.
He must have done something right. Wouldn't have been promoted to partner otherwise.
I suppose. Don't really care either way. Providence paved my way, and I'm grateful, but I paid my dues. If they were to disappear, the sun would still rise tomorrow, and I would still be governor.
It was the most charming little village. Almost made it onto the UNESCO World Heritage List. Must have been some rainfall.
Yes. Terrible, terrible shame. I blame climate change. Nothing we at the Mendoza local council could have done about it, of course. Man plans and God laughs and all that.
So you don't think the construction of a brand new dam right on the other side of the village might have had anything to do with the flooding? The dam that conveniently redirects the underground water flow to this very vineyard, bypassing the local ban on irrigation. The very same dam that was donated by a foreign benefactor whose name is lazily Yates in reverse.
Nonsense. Mr. Sete is an honest businessman, and Mr. Yates is a pillar of the community. He would never think to break the rules. He, a gentleman of the law? You should be ashamed of yourself, ma'am. Good day to you. I'm saying, no other law firm has this kind of brand penetration.
So, people all over the world know that Morgan, Yates, and Cohn are a bunch of soulless assholes. Good for you.
No, not good. Great.
Hey there, big guy.
94% of my cases never go to trial. Why? Because the moment the other side hears the name of Morgan, Yates, and Cohn, they know shit's about to get ugly. They know they're entering a Category 5 shit hurricane,
Hola,
and they can
señor.
either settle or get neck deep in that chunky brown water.
And here I was so looking forward to the buffet.
The Chelsea Whitmore trial gave us some notoriety. Ken the Brick Morgan's affluenza defense is the stuff of legends. But really, it was the documentary about Van Orton tobacco that made us a household name. Van Orton sponsored a well drilling project in sub-Saharan Africa, only to spike the groundwater with nicotine to boost their customer base. And my friend and mentor, Don Cojones Yates, got them off on a technicality. Oh, it was beautiful.
Over there.
Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. If you'll excuse me.
Something I said?
What are we doing here,
Yes.
Dexy?
Monumental Records are longtime clients of Morgan, Yates, and Cohn. I thought we'd come show Don our support.
He's a blood-sucking leech. He's like evil incarnate.
A free bar is a free bar, Heidi.
How is any of this relevant to our promotional tour?
The class always had a strong following in Buenos Aires. You and Quentin have a 52% recognition rate. That's impressive in a fragmented post-monocultural market. Especially since Jordan was always the front man.
We're not the class, Dexy. We're...
The band formerly known as The Class, minus Jordan Cross. That's the reality, Heidi. You don't like it? We can still accept the live gig with Serafina. She plays arenas. It's good, steady money.
Pass. I do have a shred of dignity left.
Oh yeah? Want me to hold on to that for you?
Screw you, Dexy.
It'll be fine, dear. You'll get a hit and make lots of money. Hell, you might even see some of it once Quantum Leap and Dynasty Global and all other streaming platforms have taken their share. You just smile and do what rock stars do best, dear.
Yeah? What's that?
Get drunk on somebody else's dime.
Seems like what?
I take it Edwards told you to chaperone me. Any idea why?
You know why. Trust is earned. Until Edwards is satisfied you're not sailing under a false flag, I will be his eyes and ears.
I meant why you.
I suppose I'm more perceptive than most.
You're also very loyal. My guess is Edward's decision to make me a herald is not too popular with the other heralds.
We were at war about 5 minutes ago. Some people are funny like that.
But not you.
I admire the craft, the audacity. Everyone said Providence was untouchable and along you came. The way I see it, you did us a service.
That's cold. I like you more already.
Touché.
Are you lost, Mr.
Diana Burnwood. Long time no see.
Forgive me, I can't quite place you, Mr.
Reaper. Tobias Reaper. We used to work for the same company. They went under.
Ah, yes. A shame what happened, but nothing lasts forever, I suppose. Oh, but where are my manners? This is my colleague, Tamara Vidal.
Miss Vidal?
What brings you to Argentina, Reaper? Are you one of Don Yates' clients?
Client? No. I'm more of a service provider.
Right. Well, it was lovely to see you again, Tobias. Now, if you'll excuse us, Tamara and I need to mingle.
Of course.
See you around. Why are you here, Burnwood?
Didn't you know? I have tango fever.
Thing is, nobody held a gun to your head. Why did you take his offer?
It was time for a change.
I'll say. Learning the truth about your partner. Harsh. But you see, I read your ICA profile. All those years, you never took a contract for money or glory. Only to serve your personal brand of vigilante justice. Targeting those who rise above the law, except for yourself, of course. But hey, everyone's a hypocrite. Still, makes you wonder.
I was wasting my potential. I did garbage duty for 30 years, and where did it get me?
You've certainly kept the world's coroners on their toes.
Edwards is right. Power never dies. It only changes hands. And his hands, well, I figure the world could do a lot worse.
You admire him.
I thought resisting power was noble. But revolution is a young person's game. It's easy to tear down, much harder to build. I figure I can be Edward's conscience. God knows I have the practice. Did I pass your test?
It was hardly the Pledge of Allegiance, but it's the best I could expect from a free-thinking radical. Hey, Yosa, is dinner coming or what?
Almost there. We had a slight equipment mixed up, but my esteemed brother is taking care of it as we speak.
See that he does. A lot of hungry people here, especially me.
Hey, Future Federation, right? I think we cooked at your election party once.
That's right.
How was it?
Underspiced.
Tobias, this is really not the best time to catch up.
Hello again, Miss Burnwood. Miss Vidal.
He is a polite one, isn't he?
Oh, Mr. Reaper is in many ways a man out of time.
And what is it you do, Reaper? Don't tell me. Banker.
Corporate liquidator.
Ah, so you're the guy nobody likes.
They so rarely get a chance to know me.
Well, we really should be getting on.
Do you dance, Reaper?
I like to lose myself in a crowd.
Good. Perhaps we'll do a bit of that later.
Hi.
Dancing.
Whatever.
The night is young. Miss Vidal?
You mind if we stop by security?
Don't suppose I have a choice. What do you believe in, Vidal?
I believe most people need to be led. They want it too, mind you. Washed by liberal humanism to think is something to resist, something to be ashamed of.
Might is right. Is that it?
Any dumb mob or chest-pounding gorilla had might. I believe in merit, the rule of competence. Those who are born with the skills and intellect have a moral obligation to them. Simple as that.
Wow. You're just a social You'll be happy, aren't you?
Don't talk to me about privilege. When the enemy is at the gates, you want the best man leading the charge, privileged or not. Questioning natural hierarchies is a peacetime luxury, and it only leads to chaos and decline. Providence must exist.
A necessary evil.
Nothing evil about it. No such thing. What's the state of affairs?
Nothing out of the ordinary. Except for Deirdre Van Zandt wearing socks and stilettos.
Let's rejoin the fun.
Whatever you say.
There's some sloppy wiring. Just an accident waiting to happen.
Occupational hazard. Eh, Burnwood?
Does it bother you, being the odd one out?
What's that supposed to mean?
You're an outlier too, Tamara. You don't mingle with the other heralds.
Sir.
They're so impressed with themselves, aren't they? Ordering all those big-shot CEOs around, but not you. Where they see power and prestige, you see duty. That's why you're Edward's most trusted aide.
Jesus. You want to borrow money?
Tell me, was your heart set on becoming the next constant? The thought must have crossed your mind.
Perhaps. But Edwards doesn't want an echo chamber. Must be why he hired you. You know, some of the heralds think we should have killed you right along with Lucas Gray.
And what do you think?
I don't like wasted potential. We don't see eye to eye on just about anything. But I do respect your ambition, your idealism, your ruthlessness. You just need to grow up and smell the coffee.
They made their mark. The Art Society will never be the same. You can take pride in that, I suppose. Still, I can't imagine what old Byron must be going through.
Zoe and Sophia burned fast and bright. Everyone knew they lived on borrowed time.
Still, his only daughters.
Byron Washington mourned his girls long ago. No, it's why they died that has him in a rage.
Right. They were assassinated, like Thomas Cross and all the others.
Well, the twins were warriors. Assassination goes with the territory. There's a kind of dignity to them. No, see, Byron runs Providence's think tank. He knows stuff the rest of us aren't privy to. And he believes Zoe and Sophia were not the real targets. They were just collateral damage in a terrorist plot to get to the constant.
Yeah, I bet that would send him over the edge.
Way I hear it, Byron is putting together a special task force to track down the assassin. He's got the will, the connections, and the means. We'll see how invisible this guy really is.
So, who do you back for the Ark Society chair?
Well, I try to stay out of politics. There's a lot of support for Engel, Janus's men.
Christ, not that insufferable.
But someone is pushing hard for Blake Nathaniel, the adventurer. The same someone who got the twins appointed in the first place, I bet. Anyway, Nathaniel will continue Sophia and Zoe's bold vision.
Good. I want to see Titan before I cash in my chips.
So, what's your take on Yates?
Charismatic, commanding, verbose like a Victorian novel. But all that's just a courtroom facade. He wants you to think he's all barred. Many a young plucky attorney has made that mistake. But behind that carefully crafted bon vivant exterior is a slick, backstabbing little sewer rat who'd never fight a battle that he hasn't already won.
Huh. Anything you don't like about him?
Don Yates is an opportunistic crony. He doesn't give a toss about Providence or what we stand for. The man has no convictions. All he cares about is power. That might have been up to code with the partners. Complacent fat cats just conserving the status quo. Edwards is different, though. A true visionary. Don't know what he sees in Yates, but the man is rarely wrong.
Rarely?
The vote is still out on you. Tell me about your estranged partner. Why the number? 47?
It's all they gave him. I just made it a name.
What makes him tick? That particular investment, the Institute, was a bit of a black stain on our roster. From what little I could gather from the Providence
with all due
archive,
respect,
his
I'm gonna
capacity
kick
for
your
empathy
ass if you don't
was
get out of my
removed,
face.
along with his memories. What was your relationship?
47 is broken in many ways. But he is self-aware about it, and he tries his best to be whole. Over the years, we found an arrangement. You could say he outsourced his conscience to me. I would curate the contracts, navigate the murky moral waters that he was unable to fathom. He was the gun, I was the safety.
Fascinating. What an extraordinary display of trust.
It's no more than what any soldier does.
Of course. Who came up with the accident MO?
It began with a jet ejection seat, but that's a story for another time.
I think you have a fan.